Hello, Victoria's Cantina patrons, and welcome. Today I'm very excited to bring you a review of the Medicom MAFEX, The Dark Knight, The Joker. This is the second MAFEX action figure based on characters from the Dark Knight trilogy. About a year and a half ago, I did a review on the original MAFEX, The Dark Knight Rises Batman, but the Joker is now out, and I am quite excited to get this out of the box so we can get a closer look at him. But looking at the box itself, it's pretty nicely done. It looks essentially the same as what we saw with the MAFEX Batman, except it looks like the Joker has gotten a hold of the packaging and pretty much defaced it. At the back, we have a look of the figure itself in various poses. A little bit of information there on the bottom about the manufacturing. Made by Medicom, which is a Japanese toy company. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Joker out of the packaging, and we will take a closer look at him and see how he stacks up. Alright, you guys, and here is the Joker out of the packaging. My first impression here is that it does look really, really good. You know, starting out here with the likeness, I think they did a really good job capturing the essence of the Joker as he appeared in The Dark Knight. The sculpt work on him looks to be quite nicely accomplished. Proportionately speaking, he looks very nice. He looks pretty realistic. The coloring of the outfit looks very nice. I love the shade of purple that they used here on the jacket and the deco that they applied to the head and to various elements of the clothing. The trench coat looks really nicely sculpted. I love the folds that it has there at the back. Looks quite natural. And again, this guy's loaded with articulation, and he comes with many accessories, which we will also get to in a moment. Give you a close-up here of the head. As you can see, it's very nicely sculpted. I think that Medicom did a really nice job bringing out all the details and such with the face. It definitely looks like Heath Ledger. It's not a perfect likeness, but I think it's pretty close. For a 6-inch figure, it's definitely not bad. The paint on it is actually pretty nicely done as well. It's a bit sloppy looking, but you know, if you go back and look at the Joker in The Dark Knight, you know, his makeup was never picture perfect. It was always kind of messy. So, you know, they did a pretty good job recreating that look here. The hair is sculpted very nicely, but the coloring on it's like a bit of black mixed in with green. So that looks pretty good. Again, the paint on the face looks pretty good. I think the black around the eyes is pretty nice. The eyes are kind of a little bit absent looking, like, you know, maybe he's lost in thought or something. And then, you know, the red lips. The scars on his face are a little bit subtle. They're not too obvious. I guess on his left cheek they look a little bit more noticeable. And all in all, it's good. It doesn't look perfect, but, you know, I think this is certainly going to be the best 6-inch Joker figure that you can get in terms of the overall likeness. The rest of the outfit looks really, really good. You got a little bit of detailing there on his inner shirt. You can see his tie. He's got the green vest. He's got his jacket, of course, which, you know, has a little bit of detail on the inside. But it's a very soft jacket. You know, you can move it around however you want, which is good because, you know, it doesn't hinder the articulation all that much. And, again, the coloring is really nice. The purple that they used here is, you know, very nice and deep and very smooth. I think in the film it was actually a little bit more worn looking, but you know, they kind of left out the wear on this one. It looks pretty fresh, so maybe this is when he first got the jacket, you could say. Looks pretty good. The pants look very nice. All the lines and pinstriping is sculpted rather than painted. His boots look to be pretty good, just like they looked in the film. Not boots, but shoes, rather. And then he has an actual metal chain, which is pretty nice. It's pretty lightweight, but it is metal. Now, in the way of articulation, the Joker has a ball joint here at the head. He also has a ball joint there at the neck, which accounts for most of the movement you're going to get out of it. And you do really get a super nice range of movement there. Really, really, really excellent. He has ball joints at his shoulders, and they're very nice, very fluid. They're not stiff. He's also got a rotation there at the lower shoulder. He has double bends at his elbows. And this is one of the things I really like about the figures. If you look at the double bends, it's very much concealed. You don't get those nasty looking joints as we see with a lot of the Hasbro and Mattel figures. You know, it's certainly, you know, they cover the joint by cleverly placing the sleeves, which looks very excellent. He's got ball joints at his wrists. He's got ball hinging at the torso. He has ball hinges at his hips, which enable him to do the splits and, go up and back. Very nice range of smooth movement. He's got double jointed knees. And again, like with the elbows, I got to hand it to Medicom. They did a really good job of making this look pretty for double jointed knees, because you can't see the actual joints. They concealed them very well by placing them like inside the pant legs. Hopefully Hasbro takes note of this, because this looks really, really good, and it's really smooth, and it looks really nice. He's also got ball joints here at his ankles, which kind of do rock back and forth, and then he's got articulation at the toes. So Joker is super, super articulated. All of the articulation is very smooth. I'm super happy about that, because a lot of the time with like DC collectibles, for example, the joints are very, very stiff on their figures. In this case, all of the joints are very fluid. They move just as they should. We don't have the arms falling out like we did with the original Batman from Medicom, MAFEX. And, it looks really good too. So really, really, really pleased with the articulation here. It's excellent. In the way of accessories, there are numerous ones here. Firstly, Joker comes with an additional head, and I'm not really liking it. It just looks too crazy. Doesn't really even look like the Heath Ledger Joker for some reason. It just looks a little far out. Now to swap that out, you simply twist, and it looks like we took the whole neck with it. So we want to pull that out. Let's put the new head on the neck. There we go, it's in. And then we'll replace that onto the body. And it snaps in almost a little bit too easily. I'm a little bit concerned about that, but, it's in. Yeah, I'm not really feeling that head. I think the one that comes on him in the box is 100 times better. I guess this is what he's kind of like at the end of the film, though, pretty crazy, after Batman apprehends him and, hangs him upside down. So, you can kind of give him that sort of look, I suppose. And, it kind of works. Doesn't it? Guys, if you just heard that sound, what that was, I was moving the Joker, and his left arm just completely came off. Wow. I'm having a really hard time getting it back on. Clearly, I know I'm doing these right in the right positions and stuff. So it seems to me like the peg that's, on the arm is supposed to go into the shoulder. So we're just going to put the sleeve aside right now, because the sleeve's not really a big deal. Okay, so that goes in there like that, as it should. But it still, moves around, and, maybe it's supposed to, or whatever. I guess it should, right? But it just doesn't, it's not really staying in there. It kind of like just wiggles out. I'm not even being like that forceful with it. It's just kind of, when you spin it, it slides out. If we put the sleeve back in, there just like that. We have the peg. Want to put it back in there like that. And it's back in, but, all I have to do is, just kind of rotate it a little bit, and it comes back out. Hugely disappointed about that. I am going to see if I can get it exchanged. That is extremely, extremely, extremely disappointing, because this isn't a cheap figure. They retail at $49.99. That's just inexcusable. I love the articulation. I really like the figure a whole lot, but that kind of just ruins the whole thing. I'm gonna try and get through the rest of the review, as best I can. I'm gonna see if I can get it exchanged, but I am pretty aggravated about this situation. Moving right along, Joker has also this little machine gun right here, and this looks to be the one that he had in The Dark Knight. That he was shooting at Batman when he was on the Batpod. Overall, it's pretty nice looking. There's a little bit of color to it, and, it looks quite good. Joker also comes with a bazooka, and of course, this is the one that he had when he blew up the Batmobile. It looks really good. The proportions on it, I think, are pretty realistic. It's nice. Not too bulky. It's very lightweight. It's got a lot of nice coloring on it. So get a pistol, which looks pretty nice. And I guess seems to have the cartridge sticking out of it, as well as the small knife, which is one of the Joker's signature weapons in The Dark Knight. And finally,
Joker comes with his playing cards. So you just see some diamonds on that side. Interestingly, the other side, they're just plain white. I don't know why they didn't, put any jokers on him or anything. He has 6 different hands to choose from, in addition to the 2 that come on him. So that's 8 hands total, and all of them are kind of doing different things. They're all painted purple and sculpted quite nicely. Now, removing the hands is quite simple. You simply pull, and you can see a little peg right there. And we want to be careful not to break that, so we'll take, another hand, just kind of gently rotate it until it's in there, like so. Joker does hold the machine gun very, very nicely, and you can pose him with it in both hands. Pretty cool looking. And he also holds the bazooka pretty nicely as well, and looks quite good with it. And the one hand holds the playing cards pretty nicely. They're a little bit loose in his hand, but he is able to grip them nonetheless. There is also a display base included here, and I'm not going to take it out of the packaging since I'm going to try and get it exchanged. It looks to be the same one that came with the original MAFEX Dark Knight Rises Batman. And here's a comparison of the MAFEX Dark Knight Joker along with the Mattel Dark Knight Movie Masters Joker. They're both supposed to be 6-inch scale, but the MAFEX one looks a little bit taller. All in all, though, you can see there's really no comparison in terms of overall likeness. The MAFEX one is just really awesome looking and far more realistic and lifelike compared to the Mattel version. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Medicom MAFEX, the Dark Knight 6-inch The Joker. All in all, it's a very, very nice figure. I am very pleased with the overall aesthetic of this figure. It looks a lot like the Joker. Proportions are very nice. It's very realistic looking. The head sculpt on at least this one head looks terrific. It's painted very nicely. The additional head I'm not very fond of, and don't really see why they included it. It's just pretty ugly looking. He's beautifully articulated, and for the most part I am quite happy with how the articulation works and is very smooth and fluid. He does come with 6 extra hands that you can use, and some of them are kind of useful, like the one for holding the gun and the cards, and then the machine gun and the bazooka are also very nice accessories. The playing cards are okay. It's cool that they're there, but it's kind of annoying that they didn't paint them on one side of the cards. My biggest problem with the figure, of course, is that the arm just randomly broke. I did kind of snap it in place, but it is still very loose, and it does fall off when you move it around, whereas the right arm hasn't had that problem yet. So I'm very disappointed with that, especially when everything about this figure is super nice, and then to have, a pretty silly problem like the arm just falling off, it is pretty ridiculous and pretty disheartening. I still really like the figure. It is miles beyond the Mattel version, but I am hugely disappointed that the arm broke off, and I'm going to see if I can get a replacement for it that hopefully doesn't have that issue. Great figure, great likeness, great articulation, great accessories, but the broken arm, is a little bit of a hindrance. The arm issue aside, I do recommend the figure. I think it's really a fantastic figure. I'm going to see if I can get it replaced, and I still plan on getting the upcoming Batman 2.0 as well as the Batpod and then the Catwoman that's going to be coming in a few months. So stay tuned, guys. I will update you as to whether or not I was able to get a replacement, and if so, how it holds up compared to this one. As always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.